All right, what up, y'all? My voice sounds a little bit weird. I'm still fighting my voice getting back. I was screaming a lot during Summerslam weekend. If you don't know, I was there in attendance, and it was a show to say the least. You know what I'm saying? It was a show. Um, but this video is specifically about Triple H. Well, really, Triple H and the perception of SummerSlam if you're watching it on TV. A lot of people were talking about how the fans weren't very loud during the show. The fans were loud. It was loud as hell in that arena. Now, at certain points, like the Becky and Lyra match, did the crowd care? Nope. They were doing a wave. They were doing a wave. I'm talking about all the way up, all the way across the arena. The guy who started the wave was in my section. I'm dead ass. The person who was starting the wave was in my section. He was trying to get himself over for 2 nights. It was crazy. I'm so you could ask anyone else who was there with me sitting in my section. My girlfriend was right next to me. You know what I'm saying? But I really can't blame the crowd for not cheering. You know why? Because while the match was great, Lyra and Becky didn't have a bad match in the slightest. Triple H has not done a good job of making feuds that people care about. So, realistically, the people don't care about the Lyra and Becky match because the story wasn't good enough. So, yes, I'm blaming Triple H. That's why certain matches that happened before or after that specific match, and that's not the only match that they didn't care about. There's a lot of matches throughout the entire weekend that the crowd didn't care about. But if Triple H made better feuds, then the crowd would be hot for the entire thing. But he doesn't. So they're not. You know? There were multiple quote-unquote bathroom break matches. We saw people getting up and all kind of stuff during a lot of matches. They didn't get up for Cody and Cena. They didn't get up for Gunther and Punk because those are matches that they cared about, those main event matches. But you have to be able to write stories beyond your main event. You have to be able to write life or death stories in the mid-card, in the women's division, in the lower card. You know? And if you don't do that, the crowd's not going to care. They're going to find something else to entertain themselves during the match. And then you got this whole Brock stuff. You know what I'm saying? Morally, it's crazy that they brought him back with no explanation. You know? I know they said, oh, WWE legal found out he did nothing wrong. Okay. Was it that hard for y'all to just do a quick press conference to let people know, hey, he good? If he is. We don't even know if he is or not. But if you wanted to bring him back so bad, all you had to do was explain yourself. But the moment that they got rid of the pressers and then brought him back, now y'all look even weirder. You already look weird for bringing him back in the first place. Now you look even weirder, Triple H, TKO, Nick Khan. Now y'all look even weirder. Like, no one in there had the thought to be like, all right, let's try to explain ourselves before we do something like that. But Triple H didn't care about that. All he cared about was the pop, the social media moment, the engagement. That's all he cared about. So he wasn't prepared for what's happening now. And if he was, he doesn't care. Because like I told you before, Triple H is nothing more than just a tone-deaf man. That's just what he is. A lot of people come up to me, oh, Brock is innocent. He's okay. If in your head Brock is innocent, because again, I don't know. Last time I saw it didn't look like it. But let's go with the scenario that Brock is innocent. Okay, for this video right here. Why wouldn't you tell the fans, hey, he good, before just bringing him out there and didn't act surprised when everyone's like, yo? That's all they have to do. Now, if the fans don't want to believe that, that's up to them. But as a company, you're supposed to be doing damage control over all these things, especially when your superstars are in active problems with the law. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm saying. If Brock is just completely fine, which, again, I don't know, don't look like it, but if they went through it and Brock is cool, one, still don't know why you would bring him back. Two, tell us that. Don't just bring him out there, and our last assumption of him is just what we saw last, him being on a TKO quote-unquote ban list, and then acting surprised when everyone's like, no. You know? Now, on the other hand, if Brock isn't fine, which I still don't know why you would bring someone back who's in the middle of that, which, I mean, I don't know. If he still has some blame in that whole thing, really, why are you bringing him back? Because that's all people gonna care about. For real, for real. And I ain't gonna lie, I had to think about it for a minute because Triple H was gonna do something like that to end the show off, because the ending of John Cena walking out wasn't good enough for him. He needs to end that show with the big pop return. And I'm like, there aren't that many people that can return. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone who could have returned, really, they're like not here. Like, they already signed, or they're in AEW, or they're in TNA, or they're just somewhere else. There aren't that many free agents right now that are just waiting to be caught up by somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming they looked at their book and they were like, all right, who's the biggest person we can bring back since like everyone else is signed already? Him. Oh, but y'all, he's kind of in the middle of the whole thing with whatever. Or, like they said they did, they said that they're WWE legal, which sounds crazy within itself, said that he was cool. Okay. I don't know. So I know people, this turned into a whole cancel culture thing. This is turning into a whole, it's like this every few months. And I'm not surprised, because Triple H is twerking for Trump now. And it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's turning into a us versus them thing. And it's just weird because it's like, if you have someone like that, before you bring him back, just let everyone know he cool. Don't bring him back with no explanation and get surprised when people are like, what? Huh? And it was like, oh, well, the crowd popped. The crowd would have popped for anybody to come out. The Rock could have came out, and all the stuff that we heard. Oh, we don't like Rock no more. Rock came out, the whole place would have exploded. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could have came out. You could have used that moment to put a new superstar in front. But no, we're going back to Brock and Cena in the big 2025. Cena got his ass beat the first time by Brock. When Cena was in his prime. Cena can't work like that no more. So now I gotta watch Brock throw him around again, and Cena can't even bump like that no more. Brock, just do whatever. So none of it makes any sense. Morally, it makes no sense. Creatively, it makes no sense. But again, I can't be surprised because this is Triple H 101. He ain't going to book meaningful feuds for the mid-card in the women's division, but he going to give you that nice, crazy comeback at the end so all those social media engagement can go up. I wouldn't be surprised if Vince came back. I wouldn't be. Because now I see that Triple H will do anything to get that pop. He would do anything to get that crazy reaction. Because we already stepped our foot in. We already both feet in with this company, And this is why when I hear people say, oh, I'm going to stop watching the company. Okay, you can. It ain't going to change nothing. I haven't watched a full Raw SmackDown from beginning to end in months. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't hold my interest anymore. I fell asleep within the first hour of Raw last night. I woke up and I watched Raw at like 3 a.m. Because it doesn't interest me anymore. And people are like, oh, this is why it's good AEW is here. AEW boring too. TNA is starting to get my interest back. Going to a live show for TNA and figuring out some of their storylines, TNA is working their way back up with me. So I'm grateful for them. But this ain't a whole, now I'm a AEW guy. AEW is boring to me too. There's 5 people in AEW that I care about. And there's more people on WWE television that I just want to support because I love them. I don't want to miss out on Naomi's championship run and Bianca and when Liv comes back and Carmelo Hayes and Obafemi and all these people, That's why it's difficult, because there's people I still want to support that work for this company. But damn, Triple H, you're making it very difficult. You're making it very, 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 very difficult, you know? And I understand a lot of people who are just like, you know what, we're done. I respect the hell out of you for it. I really do, you know? But no matter how many of us turn the TV off, no matter how many people of us, how many people, what I'm trying to say, cancel their Netflix subscription, their Peacock and all that stuff, the company's too big to stop now. That's why they really just doing whatever they want to do now. Because the company will never die financially. And that's really all that matters. Creatively, the company died, you could say 20 years ago. 15 years ago, you can argue this company died creatively. And Triple H had it up there for a little bit as soon as Vince came back. But then it fell right back into where we're at now, where it's not as bad as Vince, but just because it's not the ground floor, just because it's not 6 feet under, doesn't mean that it's good. You know? This is where we're at. Triple H is not a creative writer. He has some ideas because he used to be a wrestler. That's cool. But he's not a creative wrestler. A creative writer, I mean. He doesn't know how to consistently tell compelling stories with everyone. Not just the main event stars, not just certain people here, certain people there. He doesn't know how to do it. That's why certain matches at SummerSlam were just weak. Because the stories around them were weak. The in-ring can be great, but if there's no story, the people will not care. I don't know why we have to keep going through this. It's very easy to tell, you know? So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's looking like Brock and Cena probably might be the Crown Jewel match, because Brock probably came back for that big paycheck for Crown Jewel. And was it? Well, I don't know when Crown Jewel is. I don't even care. The next pay-per-view was Clash in Paris, so it may be that match. You know, that's an international show. Maybe that show they do the Brock and Cena thing. All I can do is hope that Brock isn't here for long. You know, I can't do anything about the fact that he's here now. I don't want to hear him cut a promo. I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear anything from his mouth on Raw or SmackDown, really. I just don't think there's any need for Brock Lesnar in this company, just for all reasons. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's any reason for Brock to be here. You know? And it's unfortunate that this is where we're at with it, but this is what it is. And this company, again, I say this all the time, this company will never find its way out of this vortex until every McMahon is out of the company. But this company is this damn near McMahon Wrestling Entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be a McMahon. Whether by marriage, by cousin, by blood, it's going to be like that forever. And if it's not a McMahon, it's going to be someone who speaks directly to a McMahon. So the McMahon ideas will live on forever. That's why the wheel never stops spinning. So it is what it is, man. The WWE is doing WWE things to the highest level. You know, this company is not the company that I fell in love with all those years ago. And some people are happy with it. If you're happy with it, then that's you. You know what I'm saying? But I will continue to speak about this company the way I do, because this is how I feel about it. You know? And that's really all there is to it. You feel me? But we'll see what the future holds. But y'all be good, man. Thank y'all for listening or watching. Y'all be safe. And I will see you in the next video, man.